it's Farmer Brad here. Just wanted to show you a pretty cool setup for my ram pump. I got it back up and running. Let me show you the ram pump first. And I just have this set up for keeping my neck from getting burned. But if you're not familiar with a ram pump is a great way of moving water without electricity. For every foot of drop, you gain 7 feet of lift that you can push water free of charge. And well, you have to buy the ram pump from land to house. But I've been working on some fence project today, and so the water goes down this chute here, and the water collects in this half 50-gallon barrel. I guess now it's a 25-gallon barrel. And then the water collects and goes down this rigid pipe. Now, the rigid pipe is a requirement because otherwise it reduces the effect of the ram pump. So I have a shutoff there. It goes from 2 inches because the bulkhead ended up working out perfect for that. Then it goes down to 1 1/4 inch PVC all the way down to the ram pump. Now, I'll just explain briefly how the ram pump works, but you can go over to Land to House for more information. This is I got this ram pump sent to me by Seth from Land to House. He has a YouTube channel that he does a lot of experiments associated with ram pumps on his channel. But basically what happens is there's a check valve, the waste valve that one's called, and it slams shut. And when it slams shut, it sends a recoil up this pipe and then back down. Then when it comes back down, it opens up that inline check valve, and then it starts pressurizing this chamber. There's a bicycle inner tube in there so it doesn't become waterlogged. Then on the delivery pipe, it goes out there and it's just sort of doing a little bit of pulses. Now in my setup here, I have this pipe coming out and it starts going uphill to this IBC tote up here. Now the reason why I chose this point over here is because I'm going to be running some birds over on this pasture in June, and I don't want to have to transport water. So this is pond water. Upper pond is spring fed, so the water's always flowing here down to this lower pond, which is pretty cool. It's a unique setup, and I figure I might as well utilize it. Then this pipe comes over here and goes down here, and then it starts filling this up. Well, right now this IBC tote is completely full. So what's happening is that in this tube, this is a standpipe, this tube is full, and this is higher than the water level inside there. So any extra that the ram pump is pushing goes into this tube. And then this tube is gravity fed over to that pond and is draining. Eventually I'll put an IBC tote over there on that land bridge, which is higher than that 450-gallon tank over near Buttercup. And that is near the high tunnel. So once this whole thing is squared away, I'll have quite a bit of water in the system. And what I like about this is that the water is continually circulating. So hopefully that will prevent this water from getting too hot. And since it's filling from the bottom, it's filling up to the bottom, from the bottom up, that then it hopefully will circulate and stuff. But anyway, the purpose of this live stream was I wanted to show you how I'm utilizing this. So this comes off here, and then this is drip tape. And this is going all along here. And let me zoom in here. Let's see. Yeah, so if you're not familiar with drip tape is a engineering marvel. It has little precise slits in it. And the goal with drip tape is that the same amount of water comes out at this point as it does at the end. Now with soaker hose, that is not the case. Soaker hose towards the beginning will probably get more water than at the end, but this is pretty precise. So what I'm doing here is I'm about 2 months out from the next batch of birds coming on this pasture. So what I'm trying to do is just run this out and irrigate a section, and then I'll move it, and then I'll move it, and then I'll move it to try to irrigate this grass. This is probably the worst pasture that I have, and after I get done with this live stream, I'm going to bring the yard roller that has aerating spikes on it, and I'm going to drive it in here and then do some passes. That way it will break up some of those cow pies that Buttercup left, and then I'll try to get this smoothed out, but it will also open up pores for that water to go down into and hopefully make this pasture a lot better. The other thing I can use this IBC tote for is like here I have a chicken tractor. I could have it be fed automatically, so my waters have a float valve in there, so I could tap off of this and then make sure that the waters are full all the time. Now, part of the reason why I chose a flow through system versus putting a float valve on here to where it stops and then the water continues on, I wanted this to be able to flow and continually renewing the water that's in there and just continuing it on. So this point is, in summary, this point is higher than that point over there, and then that point is higher than that point over there. So from this point, it will be gravity fed all the way back to the high tunnel. Then once I get that 450 gallon, 490 gallon tank full of water, then the overflow will go back into the upper pond. So it'll be a closed loop, but this distance that it has to pump isn't too bad. And the other thing too is down the road, I could add another IBC tote on top of this, extend this standpipe up higher, and then I would have more pressure for gravity feeding that IBC tote. And then over there, I could add another IBC tote on top of that, and that would increase the pressure going back to that tank. What's nice is that this gives me water from the pond that can be used for livestock watering. It can also be used for irrigation, and it can be used for growing plants back there. And then when I get the roof replaced on the high tunnel, I'll also be able to collect some rainwater into another IBC tote. So that then I'll have some options when it comes to water. But yeah, I've been pretty happy. The ram pump has been keeping up with it. Now the only flaw in the system is, let's say this hose gets a kink. Let me try to mimic that. So if this hose gets a kink and the water's not able to exit, then this should overflow. Let's see. I guess I'm not putting enough pressure on it. It would overflow, but that would also work as a debugging tool, is that then I would be able to know where the issue is in between which IBC totes. So if you have any thoughts or comments about this system, any questions, feel free to put it down in the comments, and I'll probably put out a video with greater detail about how I built this and all of the stuff. Also check out Land to House. They have a YouTube channel and some videos and really good resources on ram pumps, and it's an awesome thing. So as long as you have a water source where it will drop to, then you should be able to run a ram pump and utilize it. If you just have a static pond, yeah, you'd have to get creative and dig a hole of some sort in order to get that drop. In this case, I have the PVC pipe going 30 feet, and I probably have about 3 to 4 foot of drop. But yeah, so this I'm pretty sure is the largest rain pump that Land House makes, and it pumps pretty good water. Let me show you the outlet of where it's draining back into the pond for right now, until I can acquire additional IBC totes. So this one goes all the way over to here, and I ended up cutting it because it has some kinks in it, and so like right here, this is restricting the flow some, so I'm trying to bend that back out, increase the flow to the end. And what's great is as long as it's running, it's pumping. So here is, I mean, it's just a little trickle, but if that's just running all the time, then it adds up over time. So, and it's just a little pulse of water. So this is the inlet of where the water comes in. Over there on the far side is where the spring per se comes into the pond. So it's a great resource, and just trying to figure out a way of utilizing it. Part of the reason I want to top of that is so that then I have just really pure rainwater to do some things with. Plus rainwater directly, I think is great for plants. So if I see a batch of plants in the high tunnel that are not doing great, then I can touch them up with a bit of rainwater. I think pond water has its place, so it's pretty much would give the benefits of aquaponics without having to handle the manage the fish, because the fish are already in there, and then there's some algae that would be in the water, so the plants would do great with that. But I also, as a third backup, is I have a 100-foot 2-inch lay flat pipe that I have a semi trash pump that I could put near the water, run it over to that tank if I get in a pinch, and I could refill it. And I have the biggest tank over there because that's where most of the water will be used over time, would be a high tunnel. A high tunnel can take a lot of water. So yeah, so that's pretty much a quick summary of what's going on with the ram pump. And here's the sheep that I'm doing the fencing project, trying to keep them contained. So make sure to check out our YouTube channel, Farmer Brad, and make sure to check out Land House for ram pump information. It's a really cool tool. The technology has been around for a long time. Seth from Land House has just made it really accessible and easy. You just go to the website landhouse.com, you click on it, you buy it, it shows up on your door, and then you can start your ram pump project. So hope everyone has a great day. Stay safe out there, and just remember that now is always a great time to start homesteading. Homesteading is a mindset of becoming self-sufficient, and that looks different for everyone in different situations. So just figure out how you can become more self-reliant in your context. Have a great day and take care.